changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
is Middle Tennessee's premier choice for pest, wildlife, and moisture control. They specialize in those difficult and unique cases. You can reach them by phone at 615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
Hey, Middle Tennessee, it's Mark from the Safe House. Can I have your attention, please? I have an important announcement. Our president has a backbone. Thank you, President Trump. We sleep better knowing our country is protected. And speaking of protection, criminals laugh when you purchase a fake safe from a big box store. There's no better time than now than to visit the Safe House and see what a real safe looks like. Rebates now through the end of July on select brands. Our brands include Liberty, Fort Knox, and Browning. Drop by one of our locations or go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com. And remember, we don't just sell safes, we sell peace of mind.
My wife and I actually run a backyard sale. We go to both locations, one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday morning, we stop by inventory changes. Especially open box. The name fits in. It's exactly that. It's the yard sale. We don't totally agree with the price. Our staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with them.
That's the Yard Sale Store in Smyrna at 111 East Springs Road West in Murfreesboro, 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Hey, I'm Floyd, and I'm inviting you to join me at Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Family Worship Center, 345 Sunday at 6 p.m. 12 Steel Bicycle.
Foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need to support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah117house Rutherford County.
When I say VFW, you probably have some visions of a smoke football and much full time as I do. Stones with VFW is different. Smoke football is during respective members of our strong emphasis on camaraderie. We believe in instilling our American values in our young people through numerous programs such as Voice of Democracy, Patriots Band, Scout of the Year, and VFW Teacher of the Year. The Stones really pose intends on becoming a driving force to help aid and assist with the programs such as the Women's Veteran Campaign, Business First, just give our member for our call at 615-490-5715.
Hey, I'm Floyd, and I'm inviting you to join me at CR. That's Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Family Worship Center, 3045 Memorial Boulevard on Sunday at 6 p.m. We're a 12-step Christ Center that offers help for all hours and
right, this is Conversation Mike Sparks. I'm your host, Mike Sparks. Got a big show tonight, and looks like Connor, you got a haircut, didn't you? You're looking sharp.
New college haircut.
Handsome.
His master's haircut.
What is, what's that called? You called it what's it called?
So it's got almost like the...
That's what it is.
Can you turn the camera on you so people can see you?
Yeah.
And there you go. Isn't that nice?
Hey,
nice
face reveal. There we go.
Nice haircut. Speaking of haircuts, my wife just called me. You know, we own a salon, barbershop, and she called me. And she said one of the girls, the key broke off in the lock.
Oh,
so she don't know what to do. So
well, at least you knew it before you opened up this week.
Call a locksmith.
I know. Well, we hadn't opened the back door in probably, I mean, with the lock and probably 12 years. You know, that was our first house.
Yeah.
She was 19, I was 22. So I told her to go back through all them old keys and just take them over and just keep going through them. And one thing about my wife,
you keep stuff like that, old keys.
Yeah, man, I never throw away keys.
Yeah.
You know, because they go to something. But
yeah.
Hopefully we get it. She said she looked up YouTube. Somebody mentioned putting the hot glue in the lock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then trying to get it out. And if I can just get in the building, then we could probably get lockout and fix it. But anyways, I got mechanics on a mission. Ryan Adams and Brian Sweat going to join us here in just a few minutes, talk about some of the good work they're doing. I think they've given away, well, I'll let them tell us how many cars, but mechanicsonthemission.com, and they'll join us here shortly. But I know, Jeremy, before we go to Roger, you want to talk about something happening in the news today?
2 days ago, actually. I saw it, came across my social media feed, just scrolling through, that really was like, this is, if it was anybody else, I'm like, oh, well, rest in peace. But if this really encapsulates, you know, where time is a ever marching entity, and it does not care who passes away and who's still around. But all I have to say is that just to really quick honor the late Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy.
Yeah, he was with Tuskegee Airmen, one of the last survivors.
Yep, youngest Tuskegee Airman. He joined up at 19 years old.
Wow. Flew
21 combat missions in the Second World War with the 332nd Fighter Group. After the war, he continued serving with distinction. He flew 45 missions over Korea.
Wow.
And that, I'm not done yet. Over 70 missions in Vietnam, making him one of the rare Tuskegee Airmen to have fought in 3 wars.
Yes, as a lot of folks know, our Rotary Club just honored them. And Mary Watkins, if she's listening, she's president of African American Heritage Society. Yep. She came over Sunday, was 2 Sundays ago, but she went on the wrong side of the airport. It's over on Threet, and but she did get to talk to the guys for a little bit, and she's seen the P-51 fly off.
Yeah.
So at least she got to see that. But anyways, part of history. You know, my dad was World War II. He'd be 104, I think, today if he was around. He flew on 24 bombing raids over Germany. He'd always tell me, the B-17, he'd always tell me, if you see a B-17 go down, there goes 10 men.
Yeah.
They lost one in 4 men in the Army Air Corps, and that was flying those missions were never returning home.
Yeah. Those, man.
Mike, you did a real nice article too on your paper there.
Carolyn.
And the Airmen. You did a real nice article
Carolyn
on that.
Was sweet. Folks want to know more about Tuskegee Airmen. If they go to my paper, TennesseeLedger.com, and type in Tuskegee Airmen. You know what's so sad? It really breaks my heart. You know, I've got my former black assistant Marvin, and Monica works for me now. She was my intern from MTSU 9 years ago. And I know I probably shouldn't mention their names on the radio, but I asked them. They never even knew who Tuskegee Airmen were. You ask these young people, they don't even know.
No.
And I'm like, man, people need to know how many people lost their lives to fight for this country.
Yeah. That movie Red Tails with Cuba Gooding Jr., I think, and then a whole list of other actors. I can't remember who else was in that cast, but that was the first time I ever heard anything about a group known as the Red Tails, and the stories that has come out of that group of men, that special group of warfighters.
That whole generation.
Yeah, I mean, just to even what really earned their respect of their white counterparts was flying escort missions of the B-17 bombers on their bombing raids.
Yeah,
and so that was.
Hold on 1 second.
It was really. It puts into perspective how war does change things. And so, yeah.
Well, it can neither help or hurt. I know, really, we'd probably be eating sauerkraut right now if it wasn't for the B-17s, the B-24. Seriously, and us getting involved in World War II. If you go back and study your history, and then I think I've shared this on the radio. I had lunch with the Japanese consulate general. I can't pronounce his name. I tried to pronounce it. I think, Jeremy, you tried to pronounce it. And I wrote them thank you cards this week. And I just said the story of the Japanese and American relationship, especially with Smyrna and Datsun and Nissan, really should be told in some type of a documentary. Because I remember Major Walls, who was at Pearl Harbor, who started the Omni Hut, had the country club, had the woodshed, big entrepreneur, my neighbor, I consider a mentor. And I remember the Japanese often visiting Smyrna, at the Omni Hut.
Yeah, and you said
you remember there was some prejudice back then.
Yeah, but you said he never had no problem.
I don't remember him complaining. I don't remember
he was
him
there
complaining.
when they got
I just remember him telling me. I think they grabbed some type of because he would tell us, and I hung out with his son, and that they tried to grab. I forgot what size gun that they were firing at the Japanese, but they were just boom. They were hit so fast and so hard. There really wasn't much they could do, but it was cool to be able to hear this guy's story, Major Walls, when he'd often take me to work at the Omni Hut. But back then there was some people that that wanted to name. What they want to name Nissan Drive? Remember what they wanted to name?
Pearl Harbor Drive.
Pearl Harbor Boulevard, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think it
Really?
was.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
Yeah, Marty will tell you.
Yeah, I'd heard that story.
But but it was so cool sitting with these, because I worked at Nissan back in the day, and I guess they want to have lunch with me about Trump tariffs. I have nothing to do with Trump tariffs, and but I do want to bring back U.S. manufacturing, and I call these things confirmation because, really Nissan coming into Smyrna and Rutherford County uplifted a lot of families. My brother-in-law worked there, my wife's cousin worked there, my mother-in-law worked there. So many people that Nissan really lifted up, and it's like Bridgestone, Japanese company. And while I was sitting there, because it's Consulate General of the Southeast United States, it's not just Tennessee. They have all the states in the Southeast.
They have pretty big house. I bet he had
the beautiful residence. It reminded me of the governor's residence.
Yeah.
And over at Forest Hills, one of those nice fancy areas.
Yeah.
And I looked up and I know I shared this with you and Ron Alley and some of the group over there at the Trellis and Vine. Is that right?
Yes.
And there was a picture of the Smyrna train depot on the wall.
Wild, wasn't it? It really was.
I was like, wait a second, this is Smyrna train depot.
Hey, they used the heck out of the rail system too, load them cars up. That's where they get to. I mean, I know there's a lot of trucks out there, but you see those trains sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Loaded with them.
Didn't I hear years ago, a decade and some change ago, that they wanted to make that like a railroad museum of Middle Tennessee, something like that?
I don't know.
That old train station.
I hadn't heard that.
He'd be the man. He's now the vice chairman of the.
Yeah, that's why I asked him specifically if he was
history committee.
Yeah.
No.
And him and the mayor are super tight. She calls him every other day.
Well, she was our flower girl for my brother. My mom was her dad's babysitter. And we lived next door to her, so I known her all my life, and I knew her granddaddy and her great granddaddy. So,
her grandfather is one that encouraged me to run for office. Lee.
Yeah. He's a really good guy. Man, they're all good guys.
And you went to fish fries and gambled.
Yeah, well, you did.
No, I didn't gamble. I was out of my comfort zone. That's when I met Ned Ray McCorder.
Oh, he didn't gamble, did he?
Well, I don't know. I didn't go back there and watch gambling. That wasn't me. I was nervous.
I think that was just for fun anyway.
Mike's back there playing blackjack. He's doubling down every hand.
Yeah, it was just for fun.
But some of those old stories, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like they didn't let women in Rotary Club.
I know.
I was like, how did they ever get anything done without women? Because our churches.
What are you trying to say, Mike?
I mean, but women really do.
They are, man. That's like the backbone. Yeah. Anything you do, any kind of event. This is no joke. Maybe you're listening, Felicia. She's the one that does all this stuff. I'm telling you, Mike gets it up, but she's the one that sets all this up. She's the backbone.
You're talking about fish fry. I mean, our chili cook-off.
She's the one that, if you ever, she won't take any credit.
When is the chili cook-off?
It's January the 3rd.
January 3rd.
At the Creek House at Sam Davis' home.
Yeah, and so if anybody I don't care if you, whatever political lean you are, I don't care.
It doesn't matter. We're just, because
you ain't even got to pay no money to enter.
There's about 180 people last year, so we probably had all kind of political, but that was fine. Everybody gets along fine.
We rocked it. Hey, before we got Mechanics on Mission come back, The event, the T-Dot Choice Lane discussion will be at Smyrna Event Center, what we used to call the Town Center, 5:30 to 7:30. So all these people that want to complain, now's your time to go complain.
Well, Mike, I want to bring something up. I seen you. Can I give a couple little shout outs?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Well, you had a grandson, had a birthday this week.
Yep, Henry David.
Happy birthday.
He was 1 year old, and my granddaughter, Saoirse Richardson, she was 4, so the same week. But I'm going to give a shout out to this person real quick, but I want to bring something up. I seen you the other day on the news, man. I want to bring this up. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, HMV Concrete, Hunter Vanderwarp, he's in the business there, and 615-900-5093. Need anything, just give him a holler.
I think he did all of Marty's concrete.
That's what I'd heard.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I was watching television this week, and somebody popped on there, and I said, "Dang, there's Mike."
Yeah.
Mike was on TV.
He did well. Did you see it?
I didn't see that. No.
No, he did well.
Man, it was quick.
But one thing that was brought up.
Did he just photobomb somebody?
It was fast. I mean, it was just wham, bam, thank you, man. We were out of there.
But a few weeks ago, you was bringing up about the, the Elon, write a letter to Elon, do this. Everybody think, oh, he's full of it. You see some of the comments. Some of the people probably make normal comments. At
WWJD, you know who that guy is.
Yeah.
We can't say his name on the radio.
Yeah,
it's not Jesus.
That's pretty good.
It ain't Jesus.
Yeah.
WWJD.
Yeah. But anyway.
It's a constant complainer. Guy, he don't even live here, and he complains about everything. But he knows everything, too.
He knows everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, of all things, who you got a meeting with this week, Mike?
Oh, I'm hoping to be able to talk to the boring company tomorrow.
The Elon Musk boring company. So see how stuff gets out there? Hey.
I call these things confirmation, and confirmation is real.
Yeah.
I mean, Christians need to realize the Lord will give you confirmation. Other day I went on WPLN. And
oh yeah,
one of the guys with me goes, "Man, you sure you won't do this because it's a Democrat haven,
Yeah, some people get on there, man. They might use a bad word or something. What I've heard.
That's another station.
Okay.
And anyways, so I'm on there, and I was speaking against the predatory lending, Title Max, Advanced Finance. I can't stand all that kind of stuff, and that's why they had me on. And then we got in a little bit about. No, I don't think we didn't talk about the Elon Tunnel. But I'm leaving, and the former Democrat chair Mike Stewart, and I get along with these guys. Okay, they're not evil people or anything.
Right.
And here's what the confirmation is: we're about to leave, and he says, "Mike, I see where Elon Musk going to do that tunnel in Nashville." He said, "Dude, y'all need a tunnel in Murfreesboro." Remember, this is a Democrat chairman from 2 years ago. I said, "Well, I guess you know about my letter to Elon Musk about we need a tunnel in Murfreesboro." He goes, "No, what are you talking about?" I said, "Man, I wrote a letter. You didn't know about this, dude?" He goes, "No." He said, "Dude, I've often said, if there's a problem, man, it's y'all to Murfreesboro and Smyrna. We're the most congested. Other than Memphis, we may be one of the most dangerous. We've had 2 murders.
It's bad, man. Even in Murfreesboro, when I was going yesterday, didn't really know where I was going. There's some guy sitting. I was kind of looking. I mean, it's real busy. I'm not going to describe it, but he was in a red pickup truck, kind of country looking, a beard, and here's an old man, me and my wife, but car seats in the back, baby car seats, blowing, shooting a bird. So what do you think I done, man? I shot him one back.
Oh, did you really? What would Jesus do?
Well, I don't know. But if he wouldn't beat up an old man, 70-year-old man, like I said,
you should have witnessed to him.
No, I didn't shoot no bird, man.
You should have shared the gospel with him.
I did. I shared it with him real quick. No, but I'm sitting there looking.
Bart listens to this show.
Oh no, I know.
Bart's listening right now.
Well, what would Bart do? If somebody shot him a horn.
What would Bart do? What would Bart do?
It's sitting and you're looking in your rearview mirror and you didn't do nothing. You're going slow because you're older.
But he's probably the most calmest guy that I know.
Oh, yeah, he is.
What would Bart do?
But like I said, what would you...
Somebody text me, 525-3198. What would Bart Walker do if somebody cut him off of traffic?
Yeah, I mean, no, I didn't. I would just go... I guess I was going too slow for him.
Well, one thing I've learned, you got to have patience, man.
But he's sitting there home, and I was looking in the rear mirror. He's like, he's going to beat me up, man. I said, if I done something bad, no, I didn't know what I even done.
Road rage is serious.
Well, here, you can take his too, buddy. I'm not.
I mean, it really is. Well,
I don't got patience, but yeah.
Connor, why don't we go to commercial break, and we come back, we're going to go to Mechanics on a Mission with Brian Sweat and Ryan Adams. Folks, we'll be right back.
Provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps, but I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance Policy Perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available. Select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliates.
Want a flawless look without the wait? Step into the Vanity Zone in Smyrna, where upscale style meets everyday convenience. Specializing in precision cuts, color services, waxing, and more for men, women, and kids. All delivered by highly trained stylists with an eye for detail. And don't miss the signature hot towel refresher, the perfect finishing touch that leaves you feeling clean, relaxed, and ready for anything. Walk in or book now. The Vanity Zone in Smyrna. Looking your best is always in style.
Is your car running like a dream, or does it need a little TLC? At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we treat your vehicle like it's one of our own. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
Been coming to them ever since he opened up. Good family. I recommend other people to get them repaired here because I knew they would do it and do it right. Been happy to send people to him because I trust what he does so much.
We're crazy about him. It's all about the doctor.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
Hey everybody, my name is Marcus Maniz. I am the founder and executive director of Strong in My Father Youth and Family Services. Our organization is designed to help young men growing up in homes with our father have a better chance at a better life and a better opportunity. Our organization is preventative, so our goal is to prevent kids from going to jail, juvenile, but live out the purpose that God truly has designed for them. For all information on our organization, if you're looking for a mentorship program and your child is between grades 2nd through 9th, we encourage you to go to our website, stronginmyfather.org, for more information. Sign up to be a part of Stronger Sons Mentorship Program. And then we're hoping that this program continue to help your son live out the true dreams that God truly has designed for them.
All right, we're back. Conversation Mike Sparks. I'm your host, Mike Sparks. We've got Mechanics on a Mission. We want to get them guys up here for a while. Brian Sweat, Ryan Adams, how y'all doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Y'all been, was it 2 years ago y'all were with me?
It was about a year and a half ago, yeah.
Year and a half ago?
With David Weil. From
good
buddy of mine, good man.
You think he's listening right now?
I hope he is. Give him a shout out.
Man, David on Steak and Shake, man, I could go for one of them milkshakes right now.
We need to, hey, right, we're done here. We're headed over. David, get this one ready.
Yeah, you know what? I talk about God kind of working in, mysterious ways. I had a sister, sadly, that passed away last year. She was on life support. Vicky was named. She was on life support for 6 weeks, and my other sister had come by the house, and she said, we're going to have to make some tough decisions. Take her off life support or whatever. And she started to get a little choked up. My sister Cindy that Roger went to school with, she started to get a little choked up. But if there's one thing I've done for years is always pray at my wife. And I just said a prayer. I'm like, Lord, if you're not going to heal my sister, you need to take my sister. And I don't really like to say it. That's the first time I ever said something like that. But if you have no intention to heal my sister, you need to take her. I hate to say it. I walked out to the truck. My wife come running out after me. She said, hey, hospital's on the phone. Vicky opened her eyes, started talking.
Oh, God is good.
Wow.
Started saying a few words.
Yeah.
Now, she lived for 6 years. She had a brain injury. That's what put me on music therapy, because I heard her singing Country Road, Take Me Home, the place I belong. She didn't know who I was. I'm like, how does the human brain remember a song, but I don't remember? And I started thinking, maybe you could use music for healing post-traumatic stress. Maybe you could use it for kids that are, maybe can't recall. But if you think about it, it's our forefathers did that with alphabet, singing,
right.
The alphabet and that sort of thing. But anyways, David, my sister had to go to the ER about a year before she died. And I didn't know if that was going to be her last go around, And I put something on Facebook, and let me tell you how God shows up. showed up with milkshakes. David brought milkshakes, but it was in the wintertime. Think about it. Who brings milkshakes to a hospital in the wintertime? He brought hamburgers for the nurses, by the way, too. But here's what he did not know. If there's one thing my sister liked, I'd bring her a milkshake.
I remember when that happened.
You know?
I do remember.
I do.
Cool? Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
David's a good guy. He's always blessing the community. We see him at most of the events that we go to, and part of a lot of Murfreesboro Young Professionals, part of a lot of other places. So David's
he's got a story. You know, when Roger bought my Impala from me, and I had a widow call me. I was at David's like re-grand opening or something. You know, it's a couple years, but year and a half, a little over a year ago, and this widow called me. She said, "Mike, I can't get out of my driveway. They've cut my driveway out doing construction, and I can't get to the doctor's appointment." And then she had a flat tire. So I said, "Well, I'm just gonna come on over." And so I said, "Just pull on out." And she had a little SUV, and it's by Chicken Pike, kind of dangerous area, Old National Highway. And the road was cut down, and man, me like a big dummy, I drove out of her driveway, boom, hit and tore up my bumper.
Oh no.
Well, I knew the guy that was doing the road. I didn't really want to bother them. I didn't want to turn in insurance. And I told Roger rode in the car. I said, "Man, I'll tell you what, dude, I will take a loss on this car if you want it." And he ended up fixing it. You fixed it yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought the stuff and just put it on myself.
little duct tape there, Roger, or super glue?
The whole front.
Roger.
The whole front.
And my good news, Mechanics on a Mission has a whole arm called Godspeed, which is our exotic car club, but also all of our body work. And here's what I say.
Really?
If Robert Funk and Wendy Funk, who lead Godspeed, can't fix it, it can't be fixed. So they do a wonderful job with that. And
they're more body work?
They do body work.
All body work.
They do all body work, and then have the Exotic Car Club. They meet up at the Fountains first Friday of every month for a car meet. Okay. Yeah, we're over there a lot. So really enjoy that. Fountains is a great place. Been very gracious over the last couple of years.
Your background, you've been with Tower World for how many years?
Yeah, long time, 16 years running now. Yeah.
And with you, did Bruce hire you?
Yeah, Bruce. That's a funny story in itself, right there. I was a young man whenever Bruce hired me, but my mom ran Southeast Signature Motors in town for 20 years or so. She was comptroller over there, and I had filled in a little bit and had a little bit of background in that industry. My whole family's from the car industry, but I had a guy while I was working there pop up and say, "Hey, Tower World's hiring. You should go." Now I didn't know anything about.
Which location?
This was the Memorial Boulevard location, just right here in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
Had no clue about the mechanical side of it or selling the mechanical side of it, but I was like, I'm gonna walk in here and I'm gonna ace this interview. That's just what I did. I sat down with Bruce, and at that time I was actually going through a lot of trouble in my life. I had a troubled past and was not in a good place at all. And Bruce took me in, and I was actually I had a DUI kind of pending at that time. It was actually my second one. Like I said, I had a really, really bad childhood, and not childhood, but that partying age.
Yeah.
And so I had to go to court. They had no clue. And Sean Puckett, actually the DA at the time, saw my Tower World shirt one day when I went in, and he looked at me and he said, "Man, if you get Bruce Rather to tell me that you're an asset to his company, I'll consider, letting you ride on this one." And I had to sit down with Bruce's fresh job. I just landed this job. I had a 1-year-old daughter, was trying to go on the right path and provide for my family. And I sat down with this man, and he made that phone call for me, and I had been dedicated to him ever since that. That was a God thing right there. And look where it led me. Now I'm a man of Christ. We're out here serving the community, just doing good. And
I just left Marty Lupin's house, and my mother-in-law cooked today and carried him some little food over, and there was 2 little girls. Well, I'm assuming they look Latino, okay, and got to talk to them. They go to Laverne Middle School, Laverne High School, and they're Egyptian. And I was like, "Oh, you're the little girl I met a few years ago," because Marty bought a car for me to give to their older sister, and so I was teaching her. Like the sister, set the mirrors, set the the rearview mirror and the side mirrors and all, driving, seat belts. We were going over things, and I got to talk to them. I said something about dreams and wonders, and a little girl, she was 14. The one I just talked to now, she's I guess 17. She said, "Yeah, I had a dream." Remember, they're from Egypt. She said, "Had a dream that my cousin was released. I guess this Muslim group had captured or kidnapped her, in Egypt." And she said, "I dreamt that she was released, freed." And then she said, "The next morning I get a call. my cousin was freed. Wow. You know, so I was like, remember you told me that story? And I said, girl, you got a lot of little spunk to you. And she goes, what does spunk mean? And so Marty had to explain to her. But I think Marty ended up giving her a car, bought her a car. I probably shouldn't share on the radio, but anyways, it's Marty, even though he's pretty ornery, he does kind of have a good heart sometimes, you know. So how did Mechanics on a Mission come to fruition then?
So about 4 years ago, we had started, it was back to November of 2020. We were approached by some friends about starting a ministry that would include a nonprofit and have a church. And just like, hey, you know, that's awesome. I love the nonprofit end. I'm not a pastor. I don't think a church is going to be what we want to do. And so thank you so much. Very honored. Jamie and Carly No, owner of Insurance Group of America, they were the ones that approached us and turned them down initially, and literally when we turned them down, they flew, literally left and flew and went to be with Bob Goff, the Christian inspirational author and speaker. He's a direct mentor of Jamie and Carly. Wrote the book Love Does, which outside the Bible is one of the most impactful books that I've ever read about how if you truly love people, you go out and do something.
What's the name of the book again?
Love Does.
Love Does, okay.
Yeah, by Bob Goff. And came back and really framed it more as a small group and a nonprofit. And we jumped in, and little did we know that ultimately it was going to be a church, because we are our church ministries now. And out of our church ministries, our whole goal was to just meet on Sunday morning, the rest of the time be out in the community doing things that impact our community for Jesus and the kingdom. And so, like I said, we have the events at the fountains. We do a lot of things with the homeless and feeding people and all those types of things. And my son and Jamie's son came to us. They were seniors at Lighthouse, and they had a friend who one night was riding home on a really rainy night, and he got forced off the road accidentally, but had a little 97 Ford Ranger and just only had liability on it. It completely totaled the vehicle, wasn't worth being fixed. He'd been really sick and had lost about 60 pounds. Just things were not going well for him. They said, hey, you know, we meet needs in the community, whatever they are. Can we buy our friend a vehicle and give it to him? So we agreed to do that, and we gave them the keys. And anytime your 17-year-old sons are thinking outside themselves, that's a huge thing, right? With young people. So to be able to see that, they gave their friend one day after school this new SUV, new to him SUV, not new. We don't give away new cars, we give away used cars, but new to him SUV that was really life-changing. And then, you know, several months after that, the tornadoes hit Hopkinsville, and Jamie was born and raised in Hopkinsville, so we bought some cars and sent them up there. And then as we looked around, you know, Jamie had come to say, well, maybe we can do some more things related to cars. As we looked around, we had Chad Custer, the chief operating partner of Nelson Mazda, Randy Dismayne, James Dixon, who are the general managers. We had Ryan and Tire World with the Rathers and just all that type of thing. And Andrew Slemp, who the owner of Christian Brothers Memorial, and we felt like maybe we together could do something a little bigger. And out of that, Mechanics on a Mission was born. Year one, we thought we'd do maybe give away 10 vehicles and do 50 repairs. Well, last year we gave away 60 vehicles and did 250 repairs, and this year we're on track to give away 100 vehicles and do 250 repairs. Wow. We've already given away 60 this year, and our goal is 100. So we got 40 more to roll out in about 3 months. So
how do y'all acquire most of the cars?
Buying them. We also get them donated. In fact, one of the ways people can really help us, if you have a car sitting in your driveway that you haven't used and it's still viable, man, call us, mechanicsonamission.com, mechanicsonamission.org, or 615-533-5653. We would love to come and be able to take that, and your gift is tax deductible. Tax deductible is our 501c3, and it will absolutely change somebody's life.
When they on that tax deduction, is that the KBB value, or is it the value of who places the value on?
So the IRS does not let us place value. We only give the letter with what it was. The donator has to place the value, and KBB.com is where we recommend them to go if they ever have any questions about that, and just put it in there, and it pops up what the value is.
You know, we talk about kind of a Christ-centered approach. I had something happen to me a few years ago too. You know, I've always liked the Nissan trucks. You know, I used to work at Nissan, the old hard bodies in the Frontiers.
Yeah, D21 hard body.
Yeah, I loved all them little trucks. And I had a Nissan I had bought, a 4-wheel drive extended cab, and it was really edgy, you know, but it had cold air and it was 4-wheel drive. And I bought it thinking one of my sons would want to buy it from me, and they didn't really show much interest in it, and it just parked at the back of our business, just sitting back there. And I seen this guy in the news. I don't even know if Roger knows this story. I seen this guy. He got hit by an illegal street racer on Old Hickory Boulevard. I don't know if y'all remember it. And he was upside down. It was not that it's funny, but the interview was kind of funny. He was upside down going down Old Hickory Boulevard, I-24. And I remember seeing the interview, and I thought, oh, my God, dude got hit. The truck flips over. He's going down the interstate, sparks flying everywhere. So I just, for some reason, sent him a message. I found him on Facebook, said, hey, man, I heard your interview, and, man, if there's anything I can ever do, you let me know, which is crazy. I don't normally reach out to people like that. And so about 4 to 5 days later, he texted me back and said, hey, man, the insurance ain't going to cover my truck. And I was like, well, why didn't you got liability. Well, I didn't have uninsured motorist like that. And the other guy didn't have no insurance. And I was like, well, I didn't really know what I can do. And then I thought, I'm going to do a GoFundMe project for the guy. And I only raised like $300, And then I got with, I was like, you know what, man? I had the identical truck at the back of our business, but mine's a 4-wheel drive. And it was the same color. And the only thing salvageable, I dare say, on his was probably the Nissan emblem on the front because it's upside down. And I was like, you know what, man? If you want this, I said, dude, I got $2,250 in this truck. And his mom, I think she worked at Nissan. This guy, you could tell he had some problems, probably drugs and alcohol. And I wrote a book, Learn to Barter, and I happen to have some that'll shiplap wood. And he done trim work. I said, man, if you'll put that trim up, I'll let you have for $1,900, something like that. So we done a little quick trading out. And I had another Nissan truck. Because you think, well, that's so improbable. It's got to be a guy thing. I had another Nissan truck, Frontier, and it would, every now and then you see the heat gauge, just go, the temperature gauge kind of go up. And it would scare me. And I thought, man, I just ain't going to get rid of this truck. So I advertised it. Only one guy called me. Just one guy. Josh Moss is his name. Ray Moss with Ray's Auto and Dick Buchanan Road in Laverne. And he wanted to come look at it. And I put $2,700 on. I had 22 in it. But I thought, you know what? Somebody's going to haggle me down. I'll try to get my money back. And I put new tires. I put new battery. And he calls me. And I said, well, I've done this truck. And I said, but there's something else I've done in the truck, but I can't recall what it is, like that, which is significant to the story. So I was working on my AC unit, trying to be a Mr. Fix-It man, which I'm not good at fixing AC system. And I was trying to work on it. He said, man, that's what I do. Like that, well, I work on AC units. So I went and met him. Remember I said there was something else done in this truck? Can't remember. So I'm at our business, trucks parked around back. And I see this nice F550 pull up, and I see a guy that I went to church with, Ray Moss. And then I see Josh, and I thought, I remember Josh because he came to church with me, but he was a lot younger. Well, Josh had some setbacks. I mean, I think he was in prison about 4 or 5 years, and just drinking. And and I looked, and I was like, dude, the last guy to work on this truck was your daddy right there. Daddy said, yeah, man, I put a thermostat in it, didn't I? And so, I think they're playing good cop, bad cop. People will do that, trying to haggle you. So he's looking at it. I didn't know if you take a radiator cap off, if you see a little gulp, that's an indicator of head gasket leak.
Yeah, air in the system. Yeah, pushing it back out. Correct.
Yeah. I mean, the oil looked good. It would run good. And he looked and he says, hey, man, I think you got a head gas problem. I said, what are you talking about? And he's kind of beating up on my truck a little bit. And he goes, tell the son, I'd stay away from it, man. You got to put a motor in it. And then Josh said, I don't know, I like this truck. So Josh is a good cop, his dad's a bad cop. And he goes, man, I'll tell you what, I'll give you, I think he said I'll give you $1,800 for it or something like that, or $1,500. I said, man, I can't take no loss like that. He goes, look, man, I'm going to give you your tires back. I'm going to give you your battery back. And he come over to help me fix my AC system. His dad sold tires. I needed tires for the car. I got my $2,200 back. Josh used that truck for over a year to get started. Now Josh is, I mean, he's rocking with his business, heating and cooling business. But how do you explain that?
Yeah, shout out to Josh.
You know what I mean?
What's the name of Josh's heat and cooling business? I know Ray's Auto Works.
Affordable Heating and Cooling.
Affordable Heating and Cooling, okay.
Yeah, he also fixed our business unit. I happened to call him, and, I'm super frugal. And I bought a used unit. I said, man, do you have because I already put a used unit before. Well, I had a new one years ago, 25 years ago. Got that unit for $600, paid the guy $200, put it in. Then this other one, he says, it's about 2 years ago. He says, man, I got a unit, was propane. I said, well, I got gas back. Can you change these? Yeah, man, we'll do it. And I did have to put a blow motor in it. The Middle Tennessee Electric reimbursement, because they had some kind of a something surge or something and took care of it. But I mean, how do you? But see, God is a part of possibilities.
It's on the move.
You know what I mean?
Always.
And I've seen that manifestation come through.
Mike, let me tell you a quick story about how God is a God of possibilities and hope. In June of 25, many people know about the mom whose boyfriend, they had a fight and then shot her and shot 4 of her 5 children, one of them passing away.
Oh, wow.
It was a horrible thing right here in Madison, locally here. And on Friday, we were able to give her a beautiful 2014 Nissan Pathfinder. She had 2 of her kids with her, other 2 were in school, and they're doing well. And this gave them the hope that they needed to be able to move forward. And it's been an amazing, amazing journey. That's just one story of the 170 plus vehicles we've given away, were stories like that with people who have no transportation. And as you know, if you're in Middle Tennessee and don't have a vehicle, it's almost impossible to be successful. How do you pull yourself up out of poverty if you can't get to work and you know, be able to get a paycheck so you can pay your bills, feed your kids, get them to school, you know, get them to doctor's appointments, keep a roof over your head? All that falls apart without transportation, and nobody's paying attention to that part. Like I said, we kind of stumbled into it by accident, and then God said, no, this is exactly what I want you to do, and he's just exploded it for us.
We use the word hope. Is hope real?
Yeah, hope is absolutely real.
Why is hope real?
Because without hope, you know, if you don't have hope, then you become hopeless. I know that's it. But then life becomes. It's when we see people battling depression. We see people, you know, thinking that there's what is the purpose of life. So with hope also comes something that we have to find is our purpose. And really believe that we found our purpose, and that is be able to show people the love of Jesus in a real and tangible way through transportation. And we do that by partnering with nonprofits, charities, ministries, organizations, churches, so they will go online to mechanicsonmission.com or mechanicsonmission.org and then refer somebody to us. So somebody can't come to us directly. They have to be referred, because we want to know, they vet the situation for us. We want to know that this is somebody that if we take our hard-earned money that we've worked very hard for to be able to put in, and all the partners that do this with us, that we're going to be absolutely be able to change that person's life, and it's going to be something that they're going to be able to use to pull them and their family out of poverty. And then a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, we'll be able to see them now be able to pay it forward to somebody else.
You know, one thing I've tried to tackle over the years, and it's difficult, is the fatherless. You know, and I had a resolution this year talking about mentorships can help be a, you know, can help with that. It's not going to be a cure-all, but whether it's a police officer, a coach, or a teacher, or you know, an uncle, or a stepdad, or a neighbor, and I had that resolution up this year. But one thing I've often thought, like my late father, he was World War II, and he helped me get my first car. He said, I'll help you on your first car. It was a 69 Camaro. And I had to work at the Omni Hut for $1.50 an hour to put a paint job on it and do all that stuff. Sold that car, made $1,000 on it when I was 16, then rolled it back in another vehicle. But if I wouldn't have had a father, I thought, where would life be? I probably would have went to jail, because we were just little, you know.
You didn't get that much trouble, did you?
Well, I didn't get caught. I mean, to be honest with you, you know. But drugs and drinking was never my thing. You know, I was always looking for a deal. You know, how can I make money here? How can I do this? You know, but my dad would always say, keep your nose clean.
That's a big part of where I came from. You know, I came from a fatherless home. My dad left when we were 2, you know, and had a single mom. And I think that's what I blame a lot of that. I was just looking for something. I didn't have anybody to steer me in the right path. So I thought if I was the man, you know, in town, you know, that was what I was getting my satisfaction from. But
so where's your dad now? Do you know?
No, he lives in Florida now, and we talk very regularly. I've forgiven him for that. You know, it took me a long time. And getting to know Christ to be able to forgive him in my heart for that. And you know, he's battled colon cancer and a couple things that really brought us a lot closer when Dad got sick.
So you say you forgave him. Why would you want to forgive him?
Yeah, because you can't hold that in your heart. You know, you cannot hold that hate in your heart at all. And we just you don't have to bring those people closer to you. They don't have to be your best friend, but you can't hold that hate in your heart. You know, you want to grow closer to them, but you have to protect yourself after that too. You've been hurt, right? But definitely can't hold.
That's
hate.
like I tried I tell Roger, just let it go, Roger. That guy, Roger flipped a guy back. Just let it go, man.
I was just trying to add a little bit of a
just let it go,
pepper
Roger.
to the show.
Listen, driving can bring out the best in all of us, right? It can get us frustrated. I get it. But, bitterness will destroy you if you don't forgive and let people go. And then I love what you said about the father. The Bible says, pure and true religions be a father of the fatherless and meet the widows in their time of need. We have now, we are giving a lot of cars to kids transitioning out of foster care, which once they hit 18, unless that foster family stays with them because they've loved them and cared for them, we've got a lot of great foster families that do that. But some say, hey, you're on your own, and they have no support. But we've got two groups that we're working with, Jonathan's Path, and then Stronger Than My Father, my friend Marcus Manise, who does the mentorship.
We donate him commercials.
Love it. Yeah. So Marcus and then Jonathan's Path, what they're doing is helping these kids either being mentored or then transitioning. Jonathan's Path transitioning kids out of foster care, doing amazing work. And you're right.
In fact, we're going to donate y'all a commercial if Connor, you think you could take this show and make a commercial with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can.
Awesome.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No problem. Just some amazing organizations that we've been able to partner with. Because what we want to do is empower those nonprofits, charities, ministries that are doing great work, and give them a better voice in the life of their the person that they're working with, their client, and be able to by giving them a car. When you give someone a car, they listen to what you have to say, and so it empowers them to really have an impact in their life and really be able to for them to hear, why are you doing this? Why do you believe that this is something that you want to do? Who gives someone a car, right?
Yeah.
Another big part of what we do too as well, we hadn't talked about yet, but another big part is we do a lot of mechanical repairs for, we partner with people like the Journey Home and a lot of different local churches here where we get reached out to, even DCAS and a lot of other organizations that find us, and we've probably done 500,000 repairs. That's not including the cars that we've given away.
500 to 1,000, not 500,000. Just want to make sure we say that.
We're still small, but we're growing. We're growing. I have a goal in mind where I want to give away 365 cars in 1 year with Mechanics on the Mission. So I think we're starting to grow. We're starting to branch out, and I think God's got a plan for that in our future.
And what you do, you people can reach out to you when they're in need, or for somebody else. How does that kind of work now?
So the charity or nonprofit would just go to our website, mechanicsonthemission.com. They'll see the agency referral, and they can just click on that button, and they can either refer for a car repair or a car donation, and then we'll reach out to them via that. So we want them to vet the situation, and we want them to know them for at least 90 days, so it's not somebody I met yesterday.
Right.
We want to really know that this is going to help, and then they have to have a valid driver's license. They have to be able to afford the insurance. We want them to be working on an approved form of disability, or if they're a student, they could be in school.
Right.
And so it's people that are trying to help themselves. We're really trying to be a helping hand, not a handout, because we've seen that work so much better. At first, we just, as people were reaching out to us when we first started, we weren't really sure. We were trying to figure it out. You know how it goes. And people would reach out to us, and we tried to help them. We realized that doesn't work. If they don't have a community surrounding them, like at Greenhouse Ministries, the Journey Home, or Safe Haven Family Shelter, Oak Cottage for Women. I mean, go down the list of just these amazing nonprofits we're working with who really help empower these ladies and men to be able to take that next step.
The scripture is that Psalm 68:5. A father to the fatherless, a defender of widows is God in his holy dwelling. I probably shouldn't share this on the radio, but I will. I got a little upset with the Speaker of the House this year, who's second most powerful man in the state of Tennessee.
Cut you off, didn't he?
Well, it would have cut me off. I think I felt like he didn't. I felt like he didn't take my issue seriously about the mentorship and fathers. And we played this on the radio. Had four folks speak. 3 Republicans, female. One was on a mission trip, and he said a little girl come up to him, Mark White, Chairman of Education. He said, little girl says, can I call you daddy? Because there's so much fatherless in some of these little impoverished areas. And then another, Michelle Renault, mentioned her dad was never there. And she looked at to God as her heavenly father. And then Representative Antonio Parkinson spoke. And Antonio, when he spoke, man, he rocked this thing. And see, the media won't tell you these things because the media, they don't want healing. They want to keep chaos. What they say, if it bleeds, it leads. And Parkinson spoke about, he took a gun to school. He was going to take out 4 guys. Was it junior or senior year? And he's going to take out 4 guys. Mm-hmm. He said somebody spotted the gun, someone intervened, he got arrested, got sent to juvenile detention, and he joined the Marines. Mm-hmm. He said, man, if I'd had a father, I wouldn't have done that. I think most of the problems we're seeing is some of these kids that have that hurt, And me and my dad, I was told it was me and Spanish Smyrna, but I forgave him on his deathbed. And the Lord even lined up an airplane. I had a dream he died before he died. And I said, Lord, just heal the relationship before he passes. And my buddy Scott Butler wanted me to take him to the auto auction at Manheim. We're in like the 10th lane. And I'd already prayed with him the night before. And they called, hey, man, your dad's going in a coma. He ain't going to make it. And he flew down and picked up my sister down in Florida. But, you see the trauma and some of that. I mean, I had a great stepdad, who was a strong Christian man.
That's what we need. We need more strong fathers in this world, and with me being fatherless kind of growing up, it really made me strive to pour everything into my kids. I wanted to be that
How
man.
Many kids you have?
I got 3 kids now. I just had another child at 40, a 1-year-old, John Wilder, and
you got a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old, right?
John Wilder Adams. Yeah. So he's going to be a strong man.
Yeah. And Ryan's a great dad, and that's something that's really special. He's a great dad.
So Ryan, you grew up here?
I didn't grow up here. I'm from California, so don't hold it against me.
My sister lives there, man.
I went to Lascassas. I graduated from Oakland, so I've been local for a long time. I think we moved here in like '97 or '98.
And Brian, where are you from originally?
Originally, I was born in Jacksonville, and then my dad's a pastor, so I moved around a little bit.
Okay.
I spent some time in Chicago, and then Tampa. Tampa is what I would have called home till
that's where
got
my sister was at. Air traffic controller down there.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
when Scott picked her up, I thought one reason I circle back with y'all, Tony Campbell, our friend Tony Campbell,
love Tony.
think helps y'all.
Yeah.
He, I've been giving this mother, since a mother, I've been giving this nurse a ride to Una School. During the summer school, she was up there, and then her van just keeps breaking down. I've had it fixed, and a guy reached out. That's helped. He's fixed it. I guess that's that 99, that 3400 series motor, something about the intake. It would just stall on her, and then it was one of the heater hoses come off. So I got the heater hose back on, but she's scared to death to drive to Una, because if y'all drove to Una in a while, Antioch, man, you take your life in your own hands.
You'd be shooting birds.
I was the head of school. I was the head of school at Lighthouse Christian School and Preschool in Antioch for 17 years.
There you go.
Really?
That's what I did
my
before.
grandson
So I know
went there. He probably knows my
Antioch's my
grandkids.
heart. Antioch's where God had placed me for so long, for almost 2 decades, serving there, and so I love that area. But I understand some of the danger that comes.
Man, I seen some other day Miller Road doing donuts. I've called Metro Police 3 times. I'm on hold the whole time. I left them a message. They finally had an officer in the center. People driving in the center lane. It is really, it's a public safety issue. Don't stay out of Antioch, folks. Just you do your shopping here. We've got a better police department. Laverne's got a better police department.
Smyrna's a real good, and Laverne. That's a good place to live. Murfreesboro, but
they'll get you.
Yeah, down there.
The Smyrna, Laverne don't play around. But you go from KFC to Una, you could just drag race, motorcycles
side of the road,
down the road.
U-turns. It don't matter. It's all on.
And I told Channel 4, they interviewed me about the tunnel idea. I was at the car wash, talk about strange coincidences, in front of Una, the car wash right there. I'd done the interview there. And I told the reporters, you don't think it's a public safety issue? You get a reporter to drive from here to Laverne border, the Rutherford County border, I just film. 5 days later, the nurse at the school texted me, said, boy, you missed a story out here this morning, because I've been going back to school and learning journalism and TV news. And a cop got beat up at the car wash. A female cop got beat up at the same car wash I'm at.
Wow, it's awful.
Some bystanders intervened. I think the bystanders beat up the guy that beat up the cop. At least I hope they did. So both of them got sent to the. But what's the odds of that? The same car wash.
Wow, yeah, that area is pretty rough. I remember I started off in Murfreesboro at Tire World, and then went to Smyrna. I was there for many years. Tim Douglas, everybody else. Tim's still there. He's been there for like 25 years. I don't think he's ever going to retire. But then I took over the Laverne store, and I remember, because my mom had been in the industry for a long time, and I called her within the first couple weeks, and I was like, Mom, I think I made a bad decision here, because the clientele and the people just right there were just totally different from what I was used to. Yeah. But, man, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Sweeter, Smyrna people, right? Sweeter,
yes,
more polite.
Smyrna were a little bit more elderly and had a lot more money.
Oh, thanks a lot. I don't know about the money part. Do y'all know Willis Johnson? They owns Copart, sitting with him. I gave him my book, Learn to Barter, and I met him before because I bought his book, Junk to Gold. And we were sitting there, and he looked at the book. He said, "You wrote this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so he started reading through the book, and he's got 3 barns full of. I mean, it's multi-million dollars. He bought Alan Jackson's old house, and I bought some cars from him. I looked at him. I said, "You a believer, ain't you?" He goes, "Yeah." I knew he was a Christian. I said, "You believe in miracles?" He looked at me. He gave me this look like, who is this guy? And because I'd met him before, he was in Vietnam. I said, "I want you to walk. I'm going to show you 2 miracles, man." So I showed him my wife's Mercedes, the SL 550. Sometimes I drive it up here, but I drove her minivan tonight. That minivan's comfortable to ride. And I told him, I ordered that car out of Florida. It was hit at the back. It's the same bumper. They totaled it, but somebody stole the taillights. Taillights were $1,000 each. And I said, "Look, it's the same bumper." He goes, "Man, I've seen cars get totaled that had really hardly any issue." And I showed him the Jeep license plate, Freddie Hahn, Sarge Asbury Hahn. I said, "You know about this Jeep?" He said, "No, man." I said, "This is a top 10 plate in the state." I said, "That's producing about $200,000 a year to a soldier's child based in Smyrna." He looked at me. I said, "How do you explain this? How do you explain that she sees the car in Murfreesboro when it's being delivered? How do you explain that?" My Muslim friends that I bought it through, Auto World of Smyrna, who I highly recommend to deal with, they're like, "Man, that's crazy." I said, "Dude, that's when God shows up, man." So I'm sharing this, kind of sharing Christ with my Muslim buddies, and they're like, "That's crazy."
That's the thing about God showing up too. Sorry, Brian, to cut you off, but you have to be in the position to see those things and hear that. If you're not aligned with Christ, those things are just going to pass you right by. You're not going to be able to see them. But man, when you really dive into the Word and you really, live your life for the Lord, those things become so much more apparent to you.
Get your eyes up, look around, you'll see all sorts of needs. And that's one thing we encourage our group, OC, our church ministries, is hey, when you go out this week, have your eyes open and go and look for opportunities to make a difference. We're built on partnerships. It's one thing that's been so key. Me and Ryan get to come here and talk on the radio show, but listen, the engine that makes this run are the 7 Christian Brothers that we partner with, the Tire Worlds that we partner with, Nelson Mazda, Carlock Automotive. In fact, we just gave away a car a few weekends ago at Bumpus Harley Davidson here in town. Yes, love Bumpus. We got First Chance Tire and Auto, Heaven Sent Automotive out of Franklin. We've already moved into Chattanooga with Christian Brothers. In January, we're moving into Bowling Green with Christian Brothers. Cool. And we just met this week with Birmingham Christian Brothers. They want us to move down there. And with Christian Brothers being a national organization, it allows us to nationally move mechanics on a mission outside of just the Middle Tennessee area into that. And again, when we started this, that was not even a consideration, but we don't want to limit what God wants to do through this.
Y'all know David out of Memphis that owned, I don't know if he's still on, what's the big?
City Auto.
City Auto.
Yeah, City Auto has been a partner of ours too, and done some things there. Yeah, Jordan Norton over there.
Well, I run a bill years ago. The motor vehicle board never had an independent dealer, even though independents made up 75% of the board, and the board was stacked against independents. That run the bill. Kind of proud of it. They never would allow one on there. So when I get to the legislature, I want 3. Well, you know what? I got the 1. Even though they denied 1, I asked for 3. Well, me and the liaison end up becoming good friends. His dad owned a car dealership for years, but I would think David would help. You know, David couldn't get on the board, by the way. You know why?
Really, why?
He wasn't a Tennessee resident.
Oh, wow.
He kept all his stuff in Florida for a reason. That's how wealthy he is. Wow. But reach out to Willis